If you've been saying for months or maybe years, I know I should be doing something with what I know I want another income stream, I know I have experience that could help people, but you still haven't actually built anything. This video is for you because the problem usually isn't that you have nothing to offer. The problem is that you don't know how to translate what's in your head, your career, and your life experience into a business model that makes sense. And that's where a lot of smart women get stuck. They keep circling the same questions. What would I even sell? Would this be coaching, consulting, a course? Do people even pay for this? How do I know if this is a real business idea or just another thought I never act on? So in this video, I want to help you stop spinning and start moving. Hi, my name is Catherine. If we haven't met, I am a coach and business strategist. I help women who are burnt out, overwhelmed, or simply want something different. Take the skills, expertise, or life experience you already have and turn that into a business. I'm going to walk you through the 4-part framework I use to help women turn their skills, their expertise, and life experience into a real online business path. One that can become coaching, consulting, a digital product, or another income stream built around what you already know. And I want to be clear, this is not about telling you to just follow your passion. It's not about throwing random ideas at the wall. And it's definitely not about building a business from scratch with no strategy. This is about taking what you already have, your knowledge, your professional background, the problems you've solved, the things you've lived through, and turning it into something people will actually pay for. So if you're ready to stop talking about starting and actually understand how to move towards income, let's get into it. By the end of this video, I want you to be able to answer one important question. What is the most realistic business path for me based on what I already know? The first step is clarity. That's the first part of the framework. And clarity is really about answering this question. What do I already know, do, or understand that could solve a problem for someone else? Not in a vague way, not in a I'm good at a lot of things way, but in a specific, useful, marketable way. A lot of women think they need a brand new idea. They think they need to become someone completely different before they can start a business. You do not. Most of the time, the foundation of your business is already sitting in one of these 3 places. 1, your professional skills. These are the things you've done in your job or career repeatedly. Maybe you've led teams, trained employees, managed projects, built systems, improved processes, handled operations, done recruiting, HR, finance, sales, customer service, or marketing. You've coached, mentored, or developed people. Those are not just job tasks. They may be the building blocks of a business. That's number 1, your professional skills. Number 2 is your expertise. This is deeper than just a skill. This is the body of knowledge you've built through the years of doing something well. Maybe you understand leadership and workplace dynamics, career growth, communication, confidence building, organization and productivity, health and wellness, parenting or caregiving systems, navigating corporate environments, managing transitions. That is under that umbrella of expertise. Number three, your life experience. This is a piece a lot of women overlook. Sometimes the business isn't built from what you were formally trained to do. Sometimes it comes from what you've lived through, navigated, and learned how to overcome. That would look something like burnout and rebuilding your life, reinvention after divorce, starting over after a job loss, becoming a caregiver, and learning how to manage life differently, grief, healing, and finding a new direction, overcoming financial instability, and navigating confidence loss, identity shifts, or major transitions. Now, let me be clear, not every life experience becomes a business, specific ones. But if you've moved through something, learned from it, created a process around it, and there are other people still struggling with the same problem, that experience may absolutely hold business value. So, how do you find the business path? Ask yourself these four questions. What do people naturally come to me for help with? What problems have I solved repeatedly in my career or life? How do I understand, or I'm sorry, what do I understand now? I wish someone had taught me earlier. What result could I help someone get faster, easier, or with less confusion? There's where clarity starts. Remember, clarity is number one in the four-part framework. Because once you identify the problem you can help solve, then you can start deciding the business model. For example, if you want to work closely with people and guide transformation, that's coaching. If you want to solve a problem using your professional expertise and strategy, that's consulting. If you want to teach a process or system once and sell it repeatedly, that's a course or digital product. If you want flexibility, you may even build a mix of the three. The goal of clarity is not to have your whole business figured out overnight. The goal is to move from I know I have something in me to I think this is a problem I can help solve, and this is the business path that makes the most sense. Once you get clear on what you can offer, the next question becomes how do you talk about it in a way that people actually understand and value? That's where part two comes in of the framework. Remember, part one of the framework is the clarity. Part two is skill. And this is where a lot of women start panicking because they think this means I have to become a marketer. I have to be on every platform. I want to learn 100 tech tools, or I have to learn 100 tech tools. I have to become someone I'm not. No. The skill you need is not becoming an internet expert. The skill is learning how to position what you know so the right people understand why it matters. This means learning how to do three things. The first thing of the three things in skill is communicate your value clearly. You need to be able to answer who do I help? What problem do I help solve? What outcome do I help them move toward? Why am I the right person to help with this? If you can't explain what you do clearly, people won't know how to buy from you. For example, compare these two statements. This is vague. I help women transform their lives. What's that? This is clearer. I help women in corporate turn their skills, expertise, and lived experience into a coaching, consulting, or digital business so they can create income beyond one paycheck. That's very different. That is a different level of clarity. The second thing of the three things you need to do is learn how to position your experience as a solution. This matters because, especially if you're coming from corporate, because you may be used to listing credentials, responsibilities, or accomplishments, but business messaging is different. People don't buy because you've done a lot, they buy because they understand the problem you solve, the result you can create, and the perspective or process you bring to it. So the question is not, what have I done? It's, how does what I've done help someone else get a result? Three is learn simple, intentional online marketing, not complicated marketing, not performative marketing, not being everywhere. Just enough to share what you know consistently, attract the right audience, start conversations, build trust, invite people into your world. That might be LinkedIn, it might be YouTube, it might be email, it might be one primary platform, one way to nurture. The point is this: when you learn an online skill, it's not there to make your life harder. It's there to help people find the solution you already know how to provide. And this is the part I want you to really hear. You do not need to know everything before you start. You need enough skill to clearly communicate your value and get in front of the right people. That's it. But clarity and messaging alone are not enough. Because even if you know what you want to offer, you still need people who trust you enough to say yes. That's where part three comes in of the four-part framework. The third part of the framework is connection. So let's just recap. The first part of the framework is clarity. The second part of the framework is skill. And now the third part is connection. And this is where I want to free a lot of women from the idea that they need a huge audience before they can make any money. The way you teach, examples you share, your story, client wins if you have them, specific steps that show you know how to guide someone from point A to point B. And here's what connection looks like in practice. It looks like content that says here's a mistake women make when choosing a business idea, or here's how to tell if your work experience could become consulting. Here are three signs your life experience may actually hold business value. If people always come to you for this, this is what that could mean. That's an example when you, like for in my case, that I help women build a business through their skills, strength, and life experience. So you want to be very specific in the content to help them see that you are the person that can help them. That kind of content builds trust because it helps people see themselves in what you're teaching, and it helps them see you as someone who can guide them. Connection is also built through conversations, DMs, comments, email replies, discovery calls, asking people what they're struggling with, and listening for the language they use when they describe what they want, because that feedback helps you refine your message and your offers. So, no, you do not need a massive audience. You need the right people, the right message, and enough consistency to build trust over time. Now, let's talk about the part everyone wants to get into. How do you actually turn this into income? The fourth part of the framework is creation to income. So let's recap. The first part of the framework is clarity. The second part is skill. The third part is connection. Now we're down to the money, how you create the income. This is where your ideas stop living in your notes app, your journal, or your head, and become something tangible that someone can actually buy. Because this is the truth. You do not make money from having potential. You make money from having an offer. An offer is simply the vehicle through which you solve a problem for someone. And in this framework, your offer will usually start as one of these three things. Option one, a coaching offer. This makes sense if your work is helping someone create personal or professional transformation through guidance, support, accountability, perspective, or a process. Here are some examples: confidence coaching, life transition coaching, burnout recovery coaching, reinvention coaching, helping women figure out their next chapter, and helping someone move from stuck to action. That's option one, coaching. Option two, a consulting service. This makes sense when your expertise is more strategic, technical, or business oriented, and the client wants your knowledge to solve a problem. Here are some examples: marketing consulting, HR or people strategy consulting, operations consulting, career brand strategy, process improvement, customer experience or training strategy. That's option two, consultant. Option three, a digital product or course. This makes sense when you can teach a process, a framework, system, or repeatable solutions that people can learn from without needing direct access to you every week. Here are some examples: a course, a workshop, a paid guide, templates, a toolkit, a mini training around one specific problem. And here's the part I want to emphasize. You do not need to build all three. You do not need a giant brand ecosystem. You do not need a website with 20 pages and a funnel and a course and a podcast and a membership before you make your first dollar. You need one clear offer tied to one clear problem for one clear audience. That's where income starts. So if you're in the creation stage, these are the questions I want you asking. What problem am I solving first? Who is this specifically for? What is the simplest offer I can create around that problem? What result or transformation does the offer help someone move toward? And do I want to coach, consult, teach, or some combination of those? If you can answer those questions, you're much closer to income than you think, because now you're no longer sitting in, I want to start something one day. Now you're building the first version of something real. So if I could leave you with one truth, it would be this. The four parts of the framework is clarity, skill, connection, and income. You do not need to keep waiting for more confidence, more time, more certainty, or the perfect ideal before you start. What you need is a way to translate what you already know into a business path that makes sense. That's it. Your skills may be the foundation. Your expertise may be the foundation. Your life experience may be the foundation. For many women, it's a combination of all three. But the goal is not to keep talking about maybe one day. The goal is to move from ideas to clarity, from clarity to positioning, from positioning to connection, and from connection to an actual offer that creates income. And if you know you're at that point where you're ready to stop circling the idea and actually figure out what your business could be, whether it should be coaching, consulting, or a digital product, I'd love to help you. Book a call with me. The link is in the description below. And on that call, we can look at your skills, your expertise, your life experience, the business ideas hiding inside of what you already know, and the most realistic path of turning that into income. If you're ready for clarity and you're serious about building something beyond just one paycheck, the link to book a call is in the description below. And I do hope you would take advantage of that, because we are at a place in this work economy that you cannot depend on one paycheck. So take your financial situation seriously and think about building something on the side of your job, because this whole conversation has not been about quitting your job and starting something. It is about building something on the side of your job that is going to give you options, is going to allow you to not stay in a state of uncertainty and stress, because you can build something and have income coming in whether you have the job or not. And also, if you have a desire to pivot out of a situation, then you have that option. So I do hope that you would take advantage of the opportunity to speak with me, and let's see where you can go from there. Thank you for stopping by to watch this video, and I hope to see you in the next video.